here, man. I tell you what, uh, we got nothing but time. Um, but yeah, so we're back and forth talking about the show, and it was such a good conversation that that night I couldn't sleep as usual, and ended up leaving him like a 4-page text message on Messenger. Why it'd be a great idea to do a show together. The next day we talked, and he informed me that he was given an offer to do that with somebody else, which I'm not stupid. The guy's in demand all over the world, man. As a guest speaker doing all of his stuff. And I was like, shit. So all of a sudden I hear, but, and it's like, but, I got a but. I got a but. And the but was he said he decided that he was going to turn down the offer and he wanted to work with me doing a show together, which was absolutely amazing. You talk about a great feeling.
Hmm.
And actually, not only that, but a lot of responsibility that this man has multiple opportunities to go on multiple different shows, and he has the trust and faith to do this. So that's a lot of responsibility that I don't take lightly, and I really appreciate it. So lo and behold, boom, as hopefully you guys saw earlier, we had our show, and let's see, I just saw Caleb. What's up, Caleb? What's up? Hope all is well. Much love and respect, Hawk. Caleb, right back at you. And of course, the one and only Tyler Thompson. Um, I do see the bottom screen here doing a little flickering and popping on and off with Kalisha. So as soon
She
as,
may appear at any time now.
yeah, you know what? Kalisha is definitely worth waiting for. Her and Calico are incredible. Their their platform, their podcast, Pine Case podcast is amazing. The people they have on, but it's not only just the people, the guests, and all that. Um, their platform and the way that they both set it up with with Kalisha doing the hosting, Calico doing all the producing, the editing, everything that she does is just absolutely, I mean, top notch, top of the line, which is kind of funny because when you look at, everything from her intro, the music, the highlights, the what's all the other stuff, like I talk about with Tim, all of the stuff that they use,
Oh,
the
yeah.
uh, it's a technical producer editor
Yes.
term that I can't remember what I'm trying to say. But all with this, like the effects and the editing and producing going into what comes into the show and the production of it all, Kalisha and Calico do absolutely amazing work. And
Hmm.
when I my IT skills are, I've never claimed them to be anything but terrible. Um, oh, I saw a picture come out again. And go away. Now I see the mic getting muted, unmuted. So obviously there's something going on, but you know what? Hey, that's all right.
When she gets there, it's the
Kalisa,
right time.
you be you, and it's all good, man. But again, now you guys know that when I put our time down, what do I put? 7:30 ish.
Hmm.
Holy crap, Shelly. Bono and Shelly. God, that is a whole episode show topic right there, Shelly. And my man Bono. I love you, brother. And Shelly, God, we have to jump on the bikes to get together. Bono's my brother who has seen me at my very best, and he has seen me at my absolute worst. And
And he still
he
talks
is
to you?
all he's actually, like I said, that's a whole nother topic. And um, Shelly, Bono, I love you guys so much, man. I really do. And we definitely, and that's only always time you always hear that. Need to get together, and it's usually me screwing that up. Lori is in the house. Lori, we were talking about you. So hopefully your ears were ringing. All very good stuff. But I'm sorry, man. That was so cool seeing Shelly on there. I hope you and Bono, I don't know if he's in New York. Hey, I got to find out where he's at with his job. Because Shelly, just so you know, every few weeks we fly out to White Plain, New York, and then we're off to Connecticut, to Ridgefield, Connecticut. So yeah, man, I love it. Blender brain going on here because I'm having all these flashback memories of Shelly and Bono and us riding, and good times, and good times are coming. Trisha Gibson, how you doing, Trisha? I just want to keep checking to make sure I'm not getting a message. Well, Bono's calling right now.
He can't answer the phone right now.
Bono's calling, but I'm live right now, so I can't talk. I love you, brother. You're on. You're officially live with us now. But yeah, you never know what to expect, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now let's see if Alicia. I'm backstage, but it's not giving me an image. Add to stage.
Huh.
I've got you. I just pulled you up, Kalisha, but it's not showing anything, and it just kicked you out. Okay, let's try it again. Add to stage. You know what? I'm going to pop you in, OG, just to make sure it's not us on this side. Oh, you're there.
I'm here.
Okay, you're gone.
Back in the green room.
Let's see. As you can see, issue with So for those of you who don't know what's going on right now, that don't do the lives and sending links and all that, what happens when we do these lives is I get the person's email. I then send the email or the link to the person. In this case, I sent it to earlier Thomas and now Kalisha. They receive the link, they click on it, and it takes them right into the studio. And there's a box on the bottom. It's got my name, OG, and then the guests across the bottom. So when I push this, boom, there's OG sleeping, picking her nose. So then I pop her off. And then right next to it, I'm going to try popping on again. It's got Kalisha's name and info. We pop it on. And for whatever reason, it's not giving an image. I'm going to try popping you out again. I don't know if you can hear me, Kalisha.
Can you send her?
I'm going to send a text because bear with us, folks.
It's only live.
I see the box.
But we've had troubles like that on occasion before, but it's always uncomfortable. But you're with family, and family loves you, so don't worry about it.
Yeah, so carry on the conversation without us.
Talk amongst
and
yourselves.
Talk amongst us and ask some questions while we're doing this. I'll be right there. I see the box in your name.
Caleb's getting ready for work. Okay, I see that. You must be working the afternoon shifts or maybe the midnight shifts. Because it's, what is it? It's 7 o'clock where you're at.
I am so sorry, Kalisha. We need to get a trip planned, and that is from Lori. And Lori, I know I was talking earlier about you and all of your wonderful things that you've done and just how much love you and everything, how much appreciate you looking out and all that stuff. But I know you said about coming to Detroit, and it was going to be sometime in the near future. So hopefully that's still in play. And Shelly said he's here listening. My brother Bono, I have known for probably 20 some years now. You talk about another crazy story. You talk about two guys that were destined to meet and ride together. We were at Lakeside Mall, those of you, Detroit and all that, know Lakeside. And it was around Christmas, about 20 some years ago. And it was around Christmas. We were sitting at the bar, and he met us up at the bar, and he goes, "Hey, man, on the way home, I stopped at the old neighborhood on off of Jefferson in Detroit." And he said, "Continental Street," which I was like, "What?" That's where I grew up, or that's where I, as a little lad. And I go, "Wait a minute, Continental?" He goes, "Yeah, right off of Jefferson." And he goes, "We were like the fourth house on the left." I go, "We were like the third house." Come to find out, it was his aunt that lived right next to us, and he was his uh, cousin or somebody was best friends with my uncle, and then he called his mom and said who he was with, and they knew me, and that was like 20 plus years ago. And from that day on, me and Bono, he came to our family reunions, all the parties, Christmas, you name it, Bono was there. And like I said, he's seen me through a lot of bad shit, and he never once gave up on me, even when I gave up on myself. And just like I said, he means the world to me. And Shelly is absolutely incredible. You talk about a beautiful person inside and out. And so yeah, we that was a nice little curveball. Speaking of which, we're still trying to. I don't know why it's not loading. Everything is here. The link's set, and it's just not loading for Kalisha. Hold up, let me try something. The good thing, well, not good because now you guys are stuck with me, is I went through everything that we know on our side. Everyone's looking. Okay, stop picking your nose. Gonna pop you on. Okay, see, we got our cameras are all going, so we are good. We're good, and Kalisha's is good. It's got the mic. Everything's going good there. So, what's new with you guys?
Yeah.
Jeanette and everybody. Let's see. What's this got? Caleb, 7 to 4.
He works.
Oh, you guys talk about work.
Yep.
Well, Caleb, definitely appreciate you popping on, man. All you guys.
Well, it's almost 5 o'clock there. It's 5 o'clock there in Oregon, so he's got 2 hours before he has to go to work.
Yep. And like I said, with Trisha and Tyler, Caleb, everyone else. And then there's the ones who I can't see that for some reason won't pop up on the screen here on the monitor. But OG does get.
Well, Thomas is probably still on, but he's probably asleep.
Thomas is in Sweden.
Yes.
Like I said, it started out Denmark. He goes, "Yeah, by the way, I'm not in Denmark. I'm in Thailand." So, of course you are.
Mm-hmm.
So then we're talking. He goes, I go, "So how's it life back in Denmark?" He goes, "Oh, I left Denmark. Now I'm in Sweden." Yeah, I get it.
Okay.
Where are you at, Manny? Detroit. Then where?
Detroit.
Okay, something's happening here. What? I'm not sure. I may have to resend a link. Which means you guys get a break. I'm gonna just see.
Oh, we have somebody on Virgil Kane from Manchester, England. Hey, Virgil. Welcome.
Virgil, want me to?
How nice. So let's see. So it's like 2 a.m. for you, Virgil, right? Oh my goodness. What are you doing?
Virgil,
up in the middle of the
thank you so
Virgil?
much for being part of this fiasco that we got going on right now.
Yeah, we're having IT
we've
problems.
Got some
Virgil.
little issues going with the sending the stream, the live stream.
The family who's here all the time understands that sometimes we have IT problems. I
and
think
they
you
understand.
might be new.
I could sit here and try to just this and everything else, and they're all going, "It's Manny.
It's Manny.
It's Manny.
Okay.
It's IT shit.
We love
him
no matter what."
Hey, Virgil, that Lori chimes in with, "Hey, Virgil, that was my dad's name." See that? Family already.
Yep.
Well, like I said, Lori, and when we were at the event talking to people, all of us, we are one hello away from meeting your new best friend.
That's right.
One hello away from meeting your new best friend. I'm really sorry about this, guys, because I know Kalisha.
Well, we have an opening next Monday. If you want to just flip her to next Monday.
Yeah, we're gonna see what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Virgil said just past 1 a.m. I'm not sure who he's talking to,
Oh, because
but
I sent it.
oh,
I
that
thought,
was you.
uh-huh.
We got like 4 conversations going on
That's
right
okay.
now, so we're all good. Um, okay, no problem. OG, take over here.
Well, I'm looking at Virgil's page here
Ah,
and seeing what he's about. He likes music, evidently.
really. Uh, okay, let's just see what we're gonna
Just
do
pay
and go
1
from
a.m.
there. But until then, if we've got, oh, that's right. Let's jump back to Christy. And for Lori and there might be, I know Virgil wasn't here. We have one of our family members, right? Hold on, let me find her. Who's celebrating something very special tomorrow,
Mm-hmm.
and that is let's
Christy.
see. Here it is, right here. Christy, tomorrow is 2 years sober, clean and healthy.
Yeah.
And Christy, again, thank you for sharing that. And also thank you for sharing your pictures, your posts on vacation. Um, that's another thing I really do love about this family is, uh, like I like to tell people what to expect because I've seen some people come on shows and they're extremely nervous. Sometimes the platform might be a little, whatever the case may be. I don't ever want anyone to feel like that when they're on the show or just chit chatting, whatever. And I go, man, it's just like if you're hanging with your family, a good bunch of friends, just kick back by a fire. You're out by the fire pit, hanging out, just enjoying life and enjoying whatever topic it is, just laughing. And there is no agenda. The agenda is enjoying each other at that moment for whatever reason it is. You know why? Because it's Monday. It's Monday. Let's enjoy it because we're here to enjoy it. Um, and just, things like that. So please, when you have something that you want to celebrate, no matter how, no matter what it is, it does not have to be just sobriety when you're part of this family. As I
Mm-hmm.
said earlier, for ones, if anyone wasn't listening, I mean, your family, your kid's birthday, communion, made the high school team, made little league, going to the prom, made the dean's list. Oh, hold on, folks. Hold on. The one, the
Oh my goodness gracious.
Oh my God. I need a whole tech team around this place. Seriously. I can't do nothing on my own. I'm completely useless.
Matt Kalisa. I am sorry, honey. This, you know, when it comes to IT shit, everyone's just like, what did Manny do now? And I'm like, I checked and rechecked. I'm like, it's actually nothing on our end, man.
Nope. Look, the series of events that had to take place for all that to go down, it started with like 3 trees that fell into my house. My fence went down, my internet down, like the whole neighborhood went down. And then we got that sorted out. And then the oh shit, the trampoline was gone, the windstorm came in, the flowers got flooded out, then the plumber had to come in. And as he was leaving, no, wait. The trees went down. The guys came in to clean up the trees and then told me that my neighbor had backed into my fucking car. So that was really awesome. And then
What? And then
And
and then so fast forward. So we like get through that. Like that's cool. Don't mind me with my hairdo. Like I literally was sweating trying to get this sorted out. And then today the plumber had to come sort some stuff out from the tree roots and all of that shit. And then as he's leaving, he kicked the Wi-Fi thing out. So thanks for stopping by.
oh my God.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
See, it's because me and you are doing this. I mean, if you would have
Exactly.
been on any other show, none of that would have happened.
Nope.
Oh,
And I
my
knew
God.
that because we were so like we were chatting all day together, and I was like, okay, like Mountain Standard Time, just double check in.
And I
then
saw that after when you said that, I was like, what? Because I was at the wake when
yes.
we left that. So I was kind of like back and forth looking just kind of like you were. And I was like,
Yep.
yeah. And then I said, what? And then when you said that, so she did, put Mountain Standard Time. And I must have said yes to which I thought I put Eastern Time. So we said yes to the same thing. It was like,
Yeah.
shit.
But
So,
that's okay, because you know what? Like, we're fine. That's fine. We're cool. I was like, give me 15 minutes and
oh, you're
I'll make this
good,
fucking
man.
happen. But then the Wi-Fi was like not being my friend. I don't know. My internet has had enough. I've been in school for the last couple of weeks, and like this setup right here, like my camera and everything like that, like I've been living in this space. Like I got teacups, water cups, pens, snacks. Like
I know, man. It's like home.
it
Well,
is
it
home.
is.
Yeah.
But I just, Kalisha, I love you, man. You and
Thank
Calico.
you.
I talk about you guys all the time.
Mm.
And it was so funny too, man, because these last couple of weeks, month has just been chaos. It's just been
Yeah.
so much going on. And
Mhm.
I'm trying to get the promos ready for my show with Thomas earlier and then ours tonight. And, I'm just clipping through mine because, like I said, my IT skills absolutely suck. And I always talk about you and Calico and your platform, everything from the cameras to the angles to the production, the editing, the music, everything you guys do is absolutely top notch. And then there's me.
Yeah.
And I was just like, and it'd be nice if, and then you're like, oh, by the way, you spelled my name wrong. I'm like, shit. And I'm like, oh, gee. And I go, spell her name for me. And she's spelling it. I'm like, Kal. Yeah. Oh, shit. So, welcome to My Fight Our War, man.
Thank you so much
Oh,
for having me. Listen, I don't actually give a shit about that kind of stuff. If my grandparents weren't on my Facebook, then I probably wouldn't have even corrected it because I've been called worse, like it's all
oh,
good.
Mhm.
you know what?
So is he.
And as far as with tonight, we'll go anywhere. This is your show, man.
Mm,
We'll go any which way you want to do. But before doing anything,
okay.
like I said, I talk about you all the time. You and
Yeah.
Calico mean everything to me. I love you, you know that, and just not even talking about recovery shit, just sitting there, just chatting. And the last time I was on your show,
Mm.
before going on, I was in the studio. You were there, and Calico was at her house. And I think
Right.
you might know where I'm going with this. We're sitting here
Absolutely.
talking, and that's when your neighbor's house was on fire.
Right. Yeah.
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 Oh
So
my
yeah.
Okay.
God.
So
Yes.
that just
Yes.
shows this series of events. So I'm
Yeah.
talking, and you're like, if I got to run out, and you're like, if I got to run out, just so you know, my neighbor's house is on fire, and I don't
Mhm.
want mine to catch on fire. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
So that's going on. So then Calico jumps on, and with her son, and she's got her phone and walking around showing me the ocean and all this stuff. And all of a sudden, this is what I see looking in the monitor at Kalisha. I see her going, what the fuck is that? And then she's like, and I'm like,
What is
what? And
that?
then all of a sudden you hear, Calico, move your phone back over this way, on the wall. And it was a wooden carving
Yeah.
of a lion. And you take it from here.
Listen, okay, so here's the real backstory on this situation.
Oh
So
my God, it was insane.
11 years ago, when I had my son, I brought him down to Jamaica to meet his great grandparents. It was like a big to do. Like we took the kids down there, blah, blah, blah. We do the whole thing. While we're down there, I come across this amazing carving and I was like, oh, it's so cool to to commemorate our trip or whatever. And I pay like $400 to fly this fucking thing back to Canada or whatever, because I just had to have it. And it matched the aesthetic of the house and my life and all this. Now, fast forward into active addiction.
Mhm.
I never actually pawned anything in my whole stint in whatever that was. I managed to get away with never having
Wow.
to do. Yeah. But
Wow.
yeah, which is incredible. I worked all the way through it, to
Oh,
be quite
that's right. You
honest.
did.
Mhm. I worked all the way through it. And so um but what happened was there was a conditional release plan that said that I had 72 hours to leave the
Oh,
province.
that's
And so I had I'd prepaid like two burly men to like, that's the company name or whatever, to pack up my house and take it to a storage unit. I prepaid the storage unit. I had done all these things to make sure that my life was, because I'm an only grandchild. I'm the only girl. I have all the family heirlooms. I have all my own heirlooms. I have
right.
all, I'm like the keeper of our stuff. And so I'm like, oh God, I'm getting forced out of my space. I got to go deal with this. I got to answer to Corrections Canada and all this stuff. And so I did all the right things, I thought.
Mhm.
And unfortunately, someone in my life intersected the moving truck, convinced the storage unit place to give them the money, which is outrageous.
Jane.
Outrageous.
Shit.
Yeah. And then took all my belongings. And I got messages from like family members, friends, people. They're like, dude, your stuff is all over this person's front lawn and they're selling it. People are like fighting over your jewelry. Now, when I say like I'm an only grandchild and I'm the only girl, like my God, some of the things that and it breaks my heart to even think about now. And we don't have to get into the details, but yeah, it was really hard to deal with because there was a conditional release plan that said that if I went back, that I was going straight to jail. No, no pass go, no collect $200. Like, so I had no choice. And the only people that, that I would maybe think about sending over there to deal with it were all people I was trying to leave behind. And I was just like, oh my God. So I've been a province away, putting my life back together for a few years. Calico and I started our relationship because I had started Pine Case, and her son is one of he's actually the winner of our bursary. He was one of our recipients to the Pine Case bursary, which is an initiative to get the youth, utilizing music as a way to cope with whatever they're dealing with. And he's an amazing artist. He's actually did Ska and Reggae Fest in Victoria last night. He's the youngest DJ, the youngest performer to ever grace that stage, like thousands of people. So it's super incredible to be a part of that. But what happened was we've been hanging out for a few years and Manny just happened to witness this really weird moment.
Oh my God.
Where I guess someone had bought his grandparents had bought him this beautiful carving of this lion for his
it was
birthday.
Either the grandparents or.
And I'm like, that's mine. I own that thing. Where did you get it from? What is happening? Like, what is going on? And so, yeah, that's
the look on your face. And then, then we're sitting there, and all of a sudden I look, and all you see is Kalisha's chair. No Kalisha. So me and Calico are talking, and all of a sudden here comes Kalisha, sits down, holding a picture.
Yeah.
You had the picture of you, and that it was. We're all just like going, did this just happen? It was insane.
It's those things though that remind you that you're doing the right thing, that you're in the right place in life, that the way that things went are starting to line up. Because what are the goddamn chances? I mean, she's in my hometown, and there isn't a ton of pawn shops, but I didn't even know that that's where my stuff went. Right. Or some of it anyway, because it did not all of it went there. Some people are still holding on to some pieces and whatever. So, it was just incredible. And then for all the things that had to line up for it to be purchased for him, it's not a small piece of artwork. We're talking about like a carving that's, roughly 3.5 feet, 4 feet, maybe. So, man,
that was just to witness that, to be part of that. I was just like, you got to be kidding. So to go from that incredible moment to what just happened here, you never know what to expect on my Fine Art Award, damn it. But,
absolutely.
But seriously, I mean, you guys are just awesome, man.
I want to know, did she ever get any of your other stuff back?
No. Well, no.
Aw.
No. I had a chat with my grandma a little while ago, and I apologized to her, obviously, for what had happened there, and not to say that we made amends, but I think we're just moving forward. Some of those situations, I don't know if are worth going through, or like, obviously I would love to have some of it back, but at this point it's like we got babies to raise and food to cook and things to do, and I don't know if it's really worth. Well, it is worth, but here we are.
And back in our day, we would have taken this and used so much anger and stuff to try to focus on that, but you just nailed it. Right now, it's time to move forward and just look at everything else and move forward, man. That's you and everything you've gone through. And we kind of jumped from right into the fire here.
Yes,
there's
sir.
so much, man, that is you and your family, and the way that you came about to being in recovery and sober is just intense. So, you know what? Let's just jump back right from the beginning, man. Let everyone
Yeah.
know. Everyone knows you. Everyone knows Calico. But
Oh,
why don't
thank
you just jump in again? Just let everyone know where you're from and all
you.
that.
Mhm.
And let's just get this started, man, because your story and how you just, cold turkey badass. Well, that's Kalisha. So, floor is yours, man.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, obviously I appreciate the invite. You guys are mad
Um,
family, and when I was thinking about today and what that looked like, I was really excited to come and talk about what happened and how I got here because not a lot of people really know it. I get a chance to highlight some really amazing people, but not I don't know if everyone really knows all the little tidbits and shit. So thank you for the opportunity to talk about all of that. My DOC unfortunately was yeah, it was opiates and it wasn't glamorous by any stretch of the imagination, although I thought it was. And the way that I did it wasn't the traditional way that or not that everybody else, but not the traditional way that it might look like for everybody. I lived in a $750,000 condo on the ocean. I had Cadillacs and Chevy Silverados and brand new dirt bikes, and the kids had everything that they wanted, and pretty much a picture perfect life. Um, Somewhere along, prescription turned into to street drugs, and I think that is probably pretty standard. A lot of people, I think, go through
mhm.
that. But at that time, I was paying IATSE dues. I was the front house manager for the performing arts theater in town. I was heavily involved with the community, the local government, lobbying for change all over the place. And just doing really big things and then going home and popping pills like nobody's business. So obviously you can't sustain that forever. And just like everybody else, right, there's that one night that changed for everybody, and for me, because my mom knows everybody in the community. She struggled and lived and partied in active addiction for many many years. She had a lot of she had a ton of connections in the community, and so when she started to get concerned about what was happening with me, she decided to go and tell everybody to stop selling me their prescription.
So that was the
Yeah.
tough love kind of. I've got an
Mhm.
idea.
Right. And I bless her heart.
Sure.
I love her to death. But that was the moment that, like, if no one's gonna sell me
Hmm.
these pills, then I'm gonna have because I'm not gonna sit sick. Like, are you kidding me? Like, you know what I mean? Especially when you're still comfortable in your career and comfortable in your life. Like, there's no reason to. There's too much money in the bank account to be sitting sick. So I went through that entire time with ever being dope sick. I had no idea what people were talking about. None. I thought it was crazy. Like, what do you mean? Like that? There's no way. Why would you even let yourself get to the point? I thought it was so silly. I was so ignorant, right? Um, and I unfortunately created really creative ways. I'm very resourceful. I created ways to not ever have to really spend a ton of money. Luckily, and no shade to the girls that are out there working heavy because I know that that's not an easy thing. I never turned to the streets in that sort of way. I college graduate. I went to did all the right things, so there was other things that I could kind of lean on. Business was my major, so it didn't take long to kind of find my position in that space. But yeah, it's I went to everyone. I was like, hey, can I, hey, can I, and they were like, nope, 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 nope. Your mom said nope, nope, nope. And it took me, I think, 4 hours, and I went and picked up um off the street. Yeah.
And see, with something like that, here about meaning well, but not knowing what you're actually doing, man. You could have the best of intentions, but if it could have been handled differently, the outcome. But then again, who are we to, you wouldn't be here.
Right.
And this, because I'll tell people that I thank God for addiction. They're like, what are you, an idiot? I wouldn't be sitting here talking to Kalisha, but it's still the road you traveled. So you go through all the context, and after all the no-no-nos, literally within 4 hours,
Yeah.
really.
4 hours. And Really not much changed after that. Like I still, still have my beautiful house, still this, still that. My relationship changed though. I sought comfort in somebody different who was very much in the streets all the time, in and out of jail, acting a fool. Someone I had had a crush on since I was like 16, and it was, through grief we found comfort in each other, which is just, I mean, if there was ever a recipe for disaster, it has got to be that, right? Like a puppy love crush and grief and some
drugs.
shit. Yeah, like
and both. It's like, hey, I got this. It's gonna help you. Well, hell,
yeah. Yeah, it was terrible. And so we just enjoyed ourselves for a long time. But there was a bunch of things happening with him, and the cops were getting involved. And they really wanted to know what he was doing. And the easiest way to know what he's doing is to go after the female with the kid, right? Like she's obviously gonna roll. They didn't know me. I would never, but at the time that was like their easiest avenue to kind of deal with what was happening in the community. And so yeah, they just started stacking charges and stacking charges and stacking charges. I couldn't turn around. It was just like I couldn't pull out of my driveway. More charges, more fucking charges. Like it was brutal. I'm like, holy shit. It was like so many of them that it was started getting kind of funny. I was like, hey, these aren't even real. These aren't even real anything. They're like misdemeanor to commit mischief, which it means basically like we suspect that something's going on. We just don't know what the hell it is yet. So we're just going to follow you around. And turned out they actually had like a pretty heavy case sitting over top of my head. And so by the end of it, they gave me a few options. One was tell us what's going on with all these dudes that you hang out with, or you can leave the province. So
man, I mean, it went from it can't be that bad to holy shit. I mean, you're talking about the perfect storm. I mean, literally, that was it.
Yeah. Yeah. And the unfortunate part is that the relationship that I had, that I was in, like you're talking about generations of grief and love. Like you're talking about, this goes back to like my grandma's gonna kill me, but my great grandma actually had a relationship with this same family, and it's just been grief and love, grief and love, grief and love, grief and love. And they're kind of the same. They're like the version of the whites from West Virginia, but they're from Canada, right? They're really well-known family, and most of them are in the graveyard, and they all have their own story to tell. So I don't have to get into too much of that. But at the time, and still even now, I guess that my loyalty lied, because it's not just the people that are doing the bad things. It's also the moms and the aunties and the women that are in there trying to support their family and raise up the kids. And so that's where my loyalty lied. Unfortunately for me, when you are raised into a situation like that, yeah, you give up your possessions to not ever have to say anything, which is how Calico ended up with the freaking lion covering. It's just like sometimes you just cut your losses and get the fuck out of Dodge, right? So yeah,
man, that just when you sit there in the position where you were at, and like you said, being the biggest thing too is it usually gets to the point where the funds run out, and that's when you make that leap. And like you just said, that wasn't the issue.
No,
the funds, and especially the funds are there, man. Talk about making it that much easier.
Oh, it was brutal. And that's kind of where the ego came in. Like I was just like, yeah, but I still am doing better than people that aren't. Like, what do you know what I mean? Like the ego was such a big part of it, because like, who are you to tell me anything? Like, I pay your fucking bills. You know what I mean? Like, okay,
Exactly.
I don't think so. My kid never missed school. What do you mean? Like, okay, and it was being justified by, like, I still have the autoimmune disease that I had with the original diagnosis. Unfortunately, there is no cure. And when I was diagnosed, they said, thank God it's not cancer. And then they're like, but unfortunately it's not cancer, because at least then we would know what to do. And so the diagnosis still stood the same. So I'm still living with the same pain, right?
You
Like,
know
okay.
what? I don't know a lot about this stuff, but this is something I didn't know. But when you just said that, it's amazing how much stuff people have in common. I was diagnosed with an autoimmune disease, and I didn't know what the fuck was going on. I was just like, as I know is I got this pain throughout my body. First they said lupus, then they said Raynaud's, and they said rheumatoid, and then they said, you know what? You've got mixed connective tissue disorder, which is you got everything. You got little bits of all of it, which is going to just create pain for the rest of your life.
Right.
So it's just like, holy shit. So when you just said that, talk about an eye opener. So that's what, so here you're dealing with that.
Which is that I'm sure a ton of people self-medicate
yeah.
because of it. I mean, there's
Mhm.
no way that, we talk about it a lot in recovery about, self-medicating and coping, and 100% pain is definitely one of it. And mark my words right now. I've only been in school for a couple of weeks. Mark my words, like the way that it's gone, if we aren't going to be trying to find a solution to the benzo situation, the same way that we were the OxyContin situation, like I don't know if you're super familiar with it, but basically, like Suboxone and methadone were a solution to the OxyContin situation. Heroin hasn't been used, and maybe that's another thing to even like to quickly cover. Like, fentanyl is not my drug of choice by any stretch of the imagination. Unfortunately, there isn't any old school heroin left, right?
Exactly.
But anyways, so I think that the benzos is going to be like the next issue, and we're going to be dealing with kids trying to come off of that, which is extremely uncomfortable as well. But yeah, that's what happened. It was an autoimmune disease. I still have it now. I found better ways to cope with it, but at that time, the prescription just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And what's really hectic was so did the pain though, because my body was trying to break down all this medication that I was putting into it, which was actually like exacerbate. I don't know what that word is. You know what I'm trying to say?
Exacerbate.
Thank you.
Exactly. No, because that's what they told me too. And then they
Right.
say, oh, by the way, you're going to have, it's going to hurt. Then you're going to have flare ups. I'm like,
Yeah.
what? And they go,
Yeah.
flare up. I go, what's that? They go, well, you know how the last
no.
week you've been terrible pain, all that? Go, yeah. They go, yeah, you're going to have those too. I was like, huh.
Yeah. So, and then, okay, so you get an addiction based off of these prescriptions that they give you, and you're trying to navigate that, but then you still get the same pain, maybe even worse now because your liver and your kidneys and everything are trying to deal with this absurd amount of medication that you're dealing with. So it's like the cycle isn't made for us to be successful, right? Obviously. And even like trying to go into any sort of like, MAT setup, because I've done that. I was like, okay, I did the thing. Like I did the thing. I got my 72 hours, which was extremely uncomfortable. Although at that time they gave me comfort meds to get through it. And I make my way to Walmart, where you got a witness and you're sweating and you look terrible and you're a sight to be seen in your community who you spent your whole life trying to build up a reputation in. So that system is completely broken, because I'll tell you right now, I almost turned around and left then. I was like, kidding me? You want me to do what? Like when I feel like what? Like why is this the way that we parade our people who are fighting for their lives in front of like the whole town? I have no idea, and I'm strongly advocating for that right now, for change back in my hometown, because they're behind times, and Alberta is finally like starting to make some headway where they do everything over the phone, and it's very personal and allows you to have some privacy during that time. But yeah, so I was dealing, I did all that. I did everything properly. I got my prescription, and I was trying to get my life back. But it wasn't ever going to be. I never implemented enough tools for it to be successful. Like I did it because I knew that's what I had to do, and because it seemed like an easy out. And sure, if it's going to entertain everybody, that's fine. Like, okay, and like at that time, I was told that like Suboxone are probably make me quite comfortable. So I was like, cool, like just business as usual. Sounds great. Like whatever's going to make everyone like get off of it for a
Shut
bit,
up.
like shut the fuck up. Yeah.
Mhm.
Then cool. It wasn't until I decided to do a bunch of other dumb shit, like hang out with, another, it's the fucking mechanics for me. Like, so the blue collar sector, I don't know, you guys drive me crazy, but it's the blue collar sector that are also doing other shit that I got to steer clear of, because it was like 3 weeks. I got into a car accident. I end up in the hospital. The doctor was just like, "Oh, it must be in a lot of pain." Boom, fentanyl straight to the arm, and then sent me on my way. So obviously, I relapsed because, who the hell can go through
Quick
that?
fix, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
didn't even ask. They weren't like, hey,
What's your pain
nothing.
level? 10.
No, nothing. They literally they pulled me out of a wreck and they're like, which I was walking and talking and fine. And yeah, they're like, oh, you look like you're in pain. And honestly, I was like, what? And they hit me with fentanyl, and then it brought on quite a situation. But that's the part of the story where it kind of starts. And obviously, we could talk for about 24 hours because there's so much more to fill into those spaces, and we can do those in other episodes. But that's
Oh,
kind
we
of
will.
where
No,
that
I'm serious, man.
yeah. That's where the rubber met the road for me, so to speak, because yeah, I was like, what have I done? You know, I was back with my family. I was back riding horses. Everyone was near me. And then I gave that up and I'm fucking laying on the side of the highway in the snow because I just, wrecked a car. Like, what the heck is going on? What have I done? And yeah, um, I did the only thing I knew to do, which was call my mom. And my mom, our whole, like I said, she hangs out with some people or whatever. And it was like, I don't even know, probably an hour and 45 minutes later, the boys rolled in and they're like, do you have a jacket? And I was like, yeah, my mom probably does or whatever. Like, so I went and grabbed one and that was it. I went for about a 6-hour bike ride. Do you want to know the rest of the story? It's pretty awesome.
Well, me and you chit chatted. I don't know
Yeah.
if you remember about some of this stuff. So we went back and forth. So you kind of filled in a little bit, and it was
Yeah.
like, whoa. So this stuff I do know, and I most definitely do, because your story is badass, man. It
Well,
says a lot about you as a person.
yeah, I appreciate you saying that. Look, I don't know. If I could do it the way that you're supposed to do it, I would have done it that way, you know?
Yeah, yeah, because it's not like you said, this is it. This you didn't
No,
know. You
no,
did. That's what. Let's make that clear. It's not like, yeah, I'm a badass because
no.
I choose. You're a badass because you had no choice.
Yeah.
This is
Well,
what.
and no one fucking tells you what the hell is going to happen next. All I know is
That's some
that,
scary
like,
shit.
these people, like, my mom has a relationship with them. They know that my mom loves me. They're going to do whatever they can to make sure that she has me. Like, whatever she has done to build this relationship with them has been in the making for, 30 years or so. So, yeah, you only have to ask once is what I learned really quickly. And I didn't know what was going to happen next. So it's not like MAT where you can go in and talk to your Suboxone doctor and they're going to be like, yeah, you're going to have these symptoms and this and this and then this and then you're going to, in 3 more days and whatever. It wasn't like that. It was like, get on the back of this bike. I'm like, okay, go on the back of the bike. And you're just like, I'm just going to be respectful because I've just asked a huge favor of these guys, right? And I just trusted the process. What ended up happening was, yeah, they actually joked. They're like, "We're gonna snake moan you," and I was like, "What the fuck does that even mean? Like the movie? Like you're gonna tie me? Like you're gonna chain me up? Like what does that even mean? Like?" And then your wheels start turning, right? And you're like, "Okay, how long was I just on the back of this bike for? Which direction were we going?
Exactly.
Like how well do these people really know my mom? Like what have I? Like, oh
You're
shit!
yes.
Wait,
Your own mind can fuck you up, man. Because
yeah.
now you're putting shit together that's there and not there.
Yeah, exactly. And I genuinely don't know what direction we went. Like because obviously I was in enough of a state that I was just like, oh, I'm sure like
Let's go.
this is what's yeah, totally, let's go. And so yeah, I spent 3 days, well, not even 3 days. They gave me 2.5 days basically. I don't know why they came to that conclusion, but I don't know, the door opened and they were like, we're going to the river and you're coming with us. And I was like, what? Like, and I don't know, if I mean, we have different DOCs, but you can imagine at day 2 of downers, it's not glamorous. And yeah. But what am I gonna do? Say no? Like,
You really don't know who these guys are, man.
no, but and that's kind of the fear that kind of kept me just agreeing with it. Right. I'm like, okay, yeah, because if I say no, they're gonna be like, okay, leave. right? Like, get out of here. I don't know. I don't know what the next, I don't know what it is. So, like, the river doesn't sound like that bad. The river sounds actually kind of half decent. Maybe a good little rinse off wouldn't be so bad. Putting
Mhm.
on jeans did not sound fun, but I'm going to fucking do it. And I slid my skinny ass right into those jeans and I jumped on the back of the bike and we went for like another couple hour ride. And yeah, I mean, these guys saved my life. They saved my life. But they didn't give me a chance to feel sorry for myself. They didn't give me a chance to deal with comfort meds. What are comfort meds, right? They didn't give me a chance. They actually threw a beer at me. They're like, just drink that. Like, you'll be okay. And in that moment, I appreciated the shit out of it because when you're feeling that uncomfortable, like, sounds great. I started smoking, which was fine. I mean, cigarettes and a beer is a lot better than what the hell was happening in my
Mhm.
world. And yeah, and then the beer turned to coffee and it was coffee and smokes and I just never fucking looked back. I owe them my life. I mean, they saved my life. Yeah. Yeah.
So that was a how many day process?
Well, it was like 2.5 days of being down there, right? So they say like 72 hours is kind of like once you get there, then you're on the other side. They didn't really give me that luxury though. Like they were just like, well, you're just stay down here and feel sorry for yourself. Like I was like, oh, I don't think, I guess not. Maybe I no. Like I would have because I feel like
So
shit.
obviously that wasn't the choice. You know?
No, they were no.
So for these 2.5 days, do
Yeah.
you want to discuss what that was like?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, puking, shitting, sweating, scared, like, the reality starts like clicking in of like what you've actually done to your body and what you have to go through, right? And I'll tell you what, none of that was scarier than the thought of ever doing that drug again. Like in all of that fear and chaos and discomfort and like s- strife and lack of dignity and none of that was as scary as the thought of ever doing that drug again. I was like, I would rather stay here than leave and get high.
That's
And
I mean, that's intense.
yeah, even thinking back to it, like I remember I remember getting to the house and we were kind of sitting around joking around and they had like a couple of beers or whatever and they were talking about my mom and and they're like, "Yeah, fuck," like, they were talking about, like, hanging out with her or whatever and da da da, and they're like, "Yeah, no, this is Darla's daughter," and it's like, "Yeah, yeah." And then because there was, like, this kinda moment, like, where they knew what was gonna happen, they're like, "This is gonna suck for her, but we're just gonna tough it out." I mean, they took off and went to work, so I guess I coulda left at some point if I really wanted
I was
to.
just gonna say because I remember bits and parts of it. So you were there
Mhm.
alone.
I was at the house alone. But like I said, like I actually didn't know where I was. I knew I was
Oh,
about
that's
5 to
right.
7 hours like in somewhere. And it wasn't until probably like I would say maybe like a week, 10 days before I finally was like, "Hey, where are we?" And they're like, "Oh, Grand Prairie." And I'm like, "Oh, shit. Okay. Where the fuck's
Compared to
Grand
where you
Prairie?"
were. Oh, I
Yeah.
mean, where were you? I mean, how far from
I mean,
did you have
you're talking obviously at some point we must have stayed somewhere. I
Mhm.
mean, this is how out of it was, right? Like, it's pretty bad. Like, it's pretty bad. It was pretty bad. But yeah, no, you're talking about like in order no one's coming to pick me up, is what I'm trying to say. Like, is no one's coming for me.
You're
I
not
mean,
walking out that door
no
and
one's
wandering.
walking. No, 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 no. I mean, like, and then you want to talk about is we're not even in Grand Prairie. We're like in like some buttfuck town, like outside of town. There is no one there. There's no buses. There's no one's coming. No one's leaving. Like this is just what it is. So
Man, I
yeah.
tell you what though, from the time this whole thing had to be scary as shit, but
Hmm.
it had to be even 10 times more scary when you were alone. Because now
Hmm.
your mind's really going to the what ifs and the what now.
Manny, I was so scared that I was gonna spend my life as a junkie. I was so scared that I was gonna spend my life without my kid in it. I was so scared. Like, that's why I made that call. You know what I mean? Like,
That's a
that's
hell of a call to make, man.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And I commend anybody that makes it for themselves, that does that for themselves. That because it's not, yeah, it's a tough one. And that one was a little bit different than usual, just because you know. the boys do it a little bit differently. But I honestly appreciate it because I don't know, had I been in town close to whatever you know what I mean? Like, I didn't have access to anything. And it got to a point where, like, when you're hanging out with people like that whose ambitions in life are completely different, who are working 9 to 5, who are, they're putting their money into their bike and their life and their house and their whatever, like, you want to be a part of that. And I felt that way. Like, even on, like, even day, like, I remember hearing the bikes like light up in the front, and I was like, I want that. Like, I want that part of life. Like, I don't want that other piece of life anymore. I want that, whatever they're doing. Like, I want that. I want to go pull wrenches and have fun. I want to laugh, and I want that. And so really quickly it became like, what can I do to contribute? How can I clean the house? Like, how do I contribute to the situation? How do I say thank you? How do I get to sit at the table? How do I join the conversation? That became the goal, right? More so than, like, how do I be comfortable? How do I self-medicate? I was like, how do I join this conversation? Because when you're in active addiction, the conversation leaves you, you know?
Oh, yeah. I mean, everybody, the conversation leaves you,
Hmm.
your dignity leaves you, your family leaves you,
Yep.
happiness leaves you, joy
Yep.
leaves you,
Yep.
your
Absolutely.
self-respect leaves you.
Yep.
And
Yep.
yeah, when you start getting that back, man, that's incredible.
Yeah, it was amazing. And you know what? It was during that time, I went and registered Pine Case, and I did that because I was trying to impress them. Like, I was like, "Oh, look what I did today," and they were like, "Oh, that's sweet," or whatever. Like, I remember they're just like, "What? You did what?" Like, you went to registries, and then you could see, like, the wheels kind of turning. Like, wait, when did you go get your ID? And I was like, "Oh, I went and did that a couple weeks ago." And they were like, "Really?" And it all happened within. I mean, I was only there maybe 6 weeks. And in that time, I detoxed, got clean, got my ID, got my business license, got on a bus, and got the fuck out of there.
That's huge. And again, I'm not sitting here blowing smoke up anyone's ass. I'll call you out on anything, but at the same time, what you just described, some people who have been clean a year can't do that.
Right.
Not even close to doing that. So to do that in 6 weeks that's incredible, man. And
But
when you see those wheels turning and people, I'm one of them, man. Oh, I was the king of I'm gonna do this.
yeah,
Oh, I'm gonna do this, 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 and this. And then I wouldn't say anything for a few days, and no one else would say anything because they knew I was just all talk, except for that first time when all of a sudden I did something just like
yeah,
that look they gave you. Like, wait a minute, you got your license.
yeah.
What a great feeling.
Yeah. Oh, it felt so good. And then it earned like a place at the table, right? You start eating, then all of a sudden we were barbecuing, and then the neighbors were talking over the fence, and you know what I mean? Like, you could kind of see it going together. But having that business license was like a sure bet that I was just like, okay, I don't know what the fuck this is going to look like, but I know that I'm going to do something with this. And by that point I had enough, I had enough like lived experience that I felt like I could be empathetic towards any situation, right? Um, I had lost most of my friends to either intentional or accidental overdoses, suicide. Um, I'd been 72 hours, a couple times at that point. I had walked through Pinocchio, which is like the institution up here, released, clear, good behavior, all that good shit. We're fine. I had tied it up with Corrections Canada and walked away from what could have been a very hectic situation. Um, yeah, I was just like, okay, what do we do now? What do we do now? We create a space where we can encourage other people to get their shit together, right? Do it the same
Mhm,
way that was done for me. Obviously, I am not a biker. I mean, that's not, well, maybe at heart, but like, you know what I'm saying? So
mhm.
so how do I bring that same mentality, that same enthusiasm, and that same kind of like stern, like gruff grit to people who need it, who don't have access to a biker like I did? Do you know what I mean?
I,
Like
I
that.
I got you, man. I
Yeah.
got you. That's my life. I mean,
Right.
be it
Yeah.
the
Yeah. You
heart,
know
that's
better than I
me.
do.
And
Right.
hearing you talk is just like I get it. And that's what gives, again, I'm not trying to, oh, you're the guest, blow smoke up your ass and all that. I know what you're talking about, and that's why I have this much respect for you. I mean, it ain't easy to get to that table.
Yeah.
You know, that's more power to you, man.
Thank you.
And now we got Pine Case
Yeah.
podcast music,
Yeah.
and it's just again heart and drive, and that's your baby, man, and you need to know more about that.
Yeah, so Panke's podcast, well, it's Panke's men's mental health and music. Obviously I wasn't that, we only had a couple of days on the other side when I named it. So, no no judging. But I'll tell you why, because I needed a purpose and I wasn't ready to tell my own story. I wasn't ready to explain to people how I got into that position, although I probably should have a little bit earlier because, just to gain a little bit of people's trust because they're like, who's this broad, right? Um, and the dudes kind of get left behind a little bit. There's a ton of resources out there for women, especially women with children, which I was met head on with all the time. Like, oh, do you have kids? Oh, okay. Well, you don't qualify, right? Like, oh, you have kids. Are you fat? Do you have kids? Are you on disability? Like, pardon? Resources out the fucking,
Really?
Yeah. And so I was like, okay, well, where does the rest of us go then? Because that's bullshit. And yeah, so right now we got a bunch of things going, and it won't be long till this website's up and running where we can just have a bulletin board and everybody have their resources tagged in there, so it'll be like a universal space where everyone can go and look. But as for us, we have our scholarship program, which is maybe my favorite component and maybe the least talked about, actually. Every year we've put together, it's not much, $500, and we find a kid in the community who is using music as a tool for to navigate their own mental health. There is Counseling is amazing, therapy is amazing, and we're never going to be well, maybe we will be in the position to replace them one day, but that's not what we're trying to do right now. We want to work alongside those things, right? We have a ton of really great relationships with therapists, both digitally and in the community. But where's the piece to the kids that just want to go to the skate park? Where is the piece to the guys that, are stuck in their 18-wheeler going up the highway, that don't want to sit on the phone for 2.5 hours on the phone? And so when we created Pine Case and the scholarships and the initiatives and the programming and music the music festivals and things like that, like all of that was just to raise awareness about ending stigma and bringing people together. The podcast, I don't even know how that happened, because really before that it was just me hanging out in the community, getting people together, playing music. We would run it like an AA meeting, like doors open,
What?
come in, sit down, pick a song, press play, tell us why this fucking means something to you. That was Pine Case when it started.
And that's
Nothing
just
more.
opening up the comfort. I mean, because
Yep.
like for me, I didn't know what I was doing either, man. I was like, I'm one of you. You know what? How are we going to run this? I don't know. How do you want to run it? Let's sit down, talk.
Yeah.
Okay. Wait, you're not going to lecture me? I don't know what to say, dude. Let's
Yeah.
just, so that's like, that was your icebreaker.
That was my icebreaker. I'm like, come in and sit down and we'll just pick a song. And that way I don't really care what your DOC is, because obviously we've all done something. And so that was Pine Case. We got into detox centers. We got into the institutions. We got into homeless shelters. We got into all sorts of places. And it honestly started with taking, so Canadian Tire, there's this like big box store up in Canada. If you go through and you write out a list of everything that you want and you write down the totals, right? You get them to print it up at the till. You can use it as an automatic invoice to get approved for they like to fund a lot of community groups. And so I just talked my ass off until they believed that because I did have my business number, but I really didn't know what the hell I was doing. And so they were like, yeah, okay, you got a $200 budget, whatever you want to get. And I was like, okay. So I got like a little speaker and whatever. And I just used my stolen phone that I used to sell drugs from, which I still have.
Yes. No, I mean, I tell you, I had a little tripod in
Right?
this.
Yeah,
Yes.
totally.
It's like, that's it.
Yeah, totally. And then that's what we were doing. We were just rocking out, and we turned unhoused spaces that the community didn't want to look at or deal with into events, right? Just cook some fucking hot dogs, bring a soccer ball, and play some music. The community won't know the difference. They don't know the difference. They don't give a shit at that point. Great. Sounds awesome. It's a fundraiser. Perfect. And that's what we were just doing, just to end stigma. We're like, fuck, treat these people with some goddamn dignity, man. Stop tearing people up for the situations that they're in. Because where I was hanging out at that time, you know, there's a ton of racism with the natives and all that stuff. But there's, you know, homeless white people too. So, and black people. I mean, it's a fucking shit show out there. And so I was just sick of it. I'm like, okay, this is where we're gonna start. This is a good corner for us to start. Let's just try with the stigma thing. And then Calico came along and she was like, hey, I think you should take this to the internet. And I was like, no, no thanks. She's like, yeah, I think you should. Yep. So the branding, Manny, the brand power that Pine Case has, which is growing every single day. I started seeing it like in places. I started seeing us in places that I'm like, what? I didn't even do that one, right? Like, so that's kind of cool. I owe a massive why it's Calico. You know, the sweat equity that woman has put into this project of mine is like of ours now. You know,
Yes.
I about a year into us actually being online and things like that, I gave I'm Pine Case, Alberta, you be Pine Case, BC, like with, you know, whatever. We'll just team up and make sure that things are still happening. But they look a little bit differently just because the demographic that we live amongst. But yeah, she's amazing. So she created the podcast. We came up with the idea together of kind of what it was going to look like, but the best way we could, and because it had started with just playing some music and picking a song and all that stuff, was to highlight the people making the music, right? Which would work freaking perfect because now you got regular folks that are doing extraordinary things that are talking about things that we all deal with. So, yeah.
Dan's got a question if you go.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, of course.
Who?
Please.
Dan does?
Dan.
Lisa Campbell, question for you. When you get a chance, do you still listen to music and then listen to the other person's reasoning about why they relate to that song?
Absolutely. And to be honest, we've been talking about bringing that component back. It's the part that I would really like to bring back to Pine Case. So we actually have been trying to figure out how to roll it out. What we want to do is offer like 10 what do you call those? Not clinics.
10 what you talking about?
You know, when like grief circles, but people come sit. Anyways, we want to do it virtually. Yep. And so we would like to get back to that. We've been talking about how we're going to do that for a while. So yes, absolutely. I still go out into the community and do it. I don't videotape it. I don't take pictures. Maybe I should. I don't know. I'm trying harder. Like I am trying harder. We were just at Decimate and I was like really struggling to get pictures. Right. We just did harm reduction. Like we do really cool shit in the community all the time. And I'm like, did anyone take pictures? Like, no. Okay, crap. We got to get better because the online community is like, dude, what the fuck is going on here?
Yeah, it's online. It's
yeah. Yeah, totally. So we're getting better. But yeah, I absolutely, any chance I can get actually to hear people's story, I take it. And if you want to know what type of music I'm listening to, usually if I'm in those moods, is
let's see. I think it was what's the reasoning about what they listen to? Like, hey, why'd you pick that song? And again, that's just basically a conversation starter. You know what? Hey, great song. Why do you like it? What does that mean to you? I mean, all those things. So,
I mean, I should have called the podcast Bum Smokes because that's really the same way that cigarettes are a currency. You know what I mean?
Smoke? Yeah.
Like, that would have made the most sense. Not fucking Pine Case. Like Pine Case was like, I was like, okay, the only thing promised to us is a pine box. And like, yep, that's okay. So we can deal with that with the grief and with the grief stigma stuff, right? And like, okay, but the pineal gland is what we need for, you know, to create melatonin, which helps us with our sleep, Accadia rhythm and all this crap. And like, that's what gives us like the right stuff to be sober. And that's how we're going to survive this. We're going to self-medicate by, you know, activating our pineal gland. Let's highlight people that use their pineal gland to keep others out of pine boxes. That's what fucking Pine Case means.
Damn.
How do you put that in a but how do you put that in a quote though, right? Like how do you put that into like a mission statement? Like I'm just like, yeah, whatever. People will figure it out or they won't. I don't know. Like yeah.
Damn, girl. I mean, you talk about rolling on that. That was awesome. And did I know that? Hell no. But
no, I mean, no one really does.
No, man, but it's just so, you know, the way, you know, sometimes you're overthinking and shit because people ask me stuff. It's like, you know, I go, don't ask me.
Yeah.
I am the last person to ask about anything as far as platforms, IT, shows, editing, producing. No, I look
Yeah.
into that and I talk into this. That's what I do, and I count on other people like OG helping with everything else with the admin stuff. I count on people that know IT shit. I know enough to know when I don't know shit. So
I rely on, well, and the community is so amazing. I was having mic troubles a while back, and the people that came to my rescue, first of all, like, nobody's above anybody. We're all,
mhm,
we're all in this together. But when you have people who are like running radio stations that are like, hey, call me and I'm going to walk you through this. Like, we're going to get
mhm.
that microphone going. And I'm like, dude, you don't have, oh my God, are you serious? I was just going to buy a new one. Like, I was going to throw the whole thing out and just start this shit again. Like, I was so embarrassed, right? Like, going live, my audio's crap. I'm like, I got these amazing artists coming on to talk about their music. And it's like, I was like, I couldn't even handle it. And so the amount of people that came through and helped me sort it out, it ended up just being my kids' Roblox playing in the background. So sorry, guys, for all that nonsense. But,
Oh,
um,
and that's what it is too, man. And the thing is, I'll never forget my old man and just you reaching out, talking to the community and all that. My dad, I remember like some people ask me, how did you talk to this person? You
mm,
just started doing this. How did you get to talk to that person? I fucking
yeah.
asked. You
Yeah.
know what? My old man, son, if you don't ask, the answer is always no. What are they gonna
Exactly.
do? What are they gonna do?
Mhm.
Manny, no. What are they gonna hurt my feelings?
Yeah.
There's nothing that you can say to me or call me that I haven't been called or heard in my life. It's like, hey, listen, if you don't ask, the answer is no.
Well, and isn't it amazing? Like, my grandpa said to me that that person didn't know what they were doing before they became the master of it. And I'm like,
Yes.
right. Like, we are all capable of learning this stuff. You don't need to be a special person. And if you don't know, then just to have people around you to like figure it out or support each other. Like, um, it's actually even wild to think about. And I was just reading Dan's comment who said Skylar Ray's music is my DOC. I don't know who did it first because that actually has been Pine Case's slogan since the very beginning. But I'm gonna chalk it up to great minds think alike. And I was so impressed when I seen his merch because I was like, this somebody that actually understands what I mean when I'm
Hmm.
saying that. Like, somebody who actually understands what I'm saying when it comes down to that. But anyways, the point of what I'm trying to say is like when you have a community of like-minded people that are equally as ambitious, we
Yeah.
have no choice but to absolutely succeed. I mean, Tyler, look, remember Tyler when I remember having him on my show and I was
Oh
like,
my
Matt,
God.
say something. Like, you got to tell the people what's up. Like, we got to tell the people what's up. And then now he's got his own freaking show, man. And I'm
Is
just like, dude, Manny, that started because he had the fucking gumption and you told him to take fucking kickboxing lessons.
we were talking about he wanted to jump in and do some podcast stuff, and then he never said a word. And then he got a hold of me. He goes, you know what? I was thinking about doing some, MMA. I go, listen, dude. I go, how long has addiction been kicking your ass? I go, why don't you
Amazing.
start kicking back? And he goes,
Yeah.
what? I go, start kicking back. Take charge. You're gonna start kicking ass. And next thing you know, he hits me up with all this.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, saw him on your show. Now he's doing knocking out addiction. And he just had, Thomas Vestergaard on his show. It's just like, and
Totally.
I told him,
Totally.
I said,
Yeah.
listen, man, my first couple were on the phone on a tripod. Then I had the old tripod, the legs started going. I was going like this, trying to go down.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, you know what? Don't take yourself too serious. Be yourself. Don't fucking sit there and try to be someone else's show that you think is popular. Be you.
Be
Then
you.
be you. And that's why you and Calico are so fucking incredible because
Thank
you're you. It's that simple.
you. Yeah. Yeah. Well, and there's if you're gonna do, I mean, if you're gonna do all of that, like if you're gonna do all of that, if you're just gonna fuck shit up constantly, like, why not take that and turn that into something that is like, I don't want to know all this stuff and never do anything with it. Like, yeah, and I mean, it goes back even before my own poor choices. My mom, she really put us through some weird shit. And unfortunately, my dad, who's amazing, he's actually like a beloved Canadian artist. So, so the music and the mental health part I come by honestly. But um, it's like, what do you do with all of that knowledge and all of that heartache and all of that? Like, what do you do with all that? You just die with all of that? Like, there's no way, man. There's no way we just die with all of that. We can't. We got to do something with it, right? And if that's what is going to keep me on the right track, because I'll tell you what, come Tuesday, like as hard as an AA meeting goes, those podcasts keep me accountable. I mean, I can't, what am I gonna do? Show up all crazy? Like, no. So that
Yep.
prep starts, the week before, the day before, the hour before, the 15 minutes before, you know.
And see, that's you, like you and Cal and all the other amazing hosts that I've
Yeah.
got to meet is, first time I heard show prep, I'm like, "What's show prep?" And they go, "That's what we're going to discuss here." And I go, "Oh, you guys do that shit? I mean, you talk about what you're going to do?" And like, "Yeah, what do you do?" I'm like, "I hit go live." They're like, "What are you going to talk about?" I don't know. They're like, "Are you serious? Fuck it,"
Yeah.
and just everyone individual stuff. And that's why I always just talk about you and Calico and everyone else's platforms. And I'm not doing it to be like some of these clowns out here who are just talking shit. And as soon as the camera's off, they're like, "That guy's such a dick," or "These people are assholes." And I've seen it firsthand, and I
Yeah.
no longer associate with these people. I'm very careful about who I talk with and associate with and put my name and all that stuff too. But when it comes down to it, like you and all these amazing people in Calico, you can see it, hear it, and feel it when you talk. I can hear it in your voice when you're looking into that camera. I can see it in your eyes with you and Calico, the passion and the love, and that's what keeps me going. I've never gone to a meeting in my life. I've never had a sponsor. 5 years ago, when they told me I was going to be dead in 6 weeks, COVID shut the world down. I had nowhere to go because the world was shut down. I never went to a meeting, sponsor, peer coach, nothing. By the grace of God, I've never had withdrawal. I've never had cravings. I'm blessed. But doing this shit, it keeps me focused. It keeps just like you.
You don't have time. Like, you just don't have time. And as soon as it's wild because I also keep my mind very busy. Like, my mind keeps itself busy. There's not a lot of time for me to feel sorry for myself or anything like that, which is kind of what leads, or boredom or whatever, right? So which is, I mean, that's a blessing in itself, because without the community, this wouldn't be a thing. Like, if we're just hanging out with ourselves, like, it wouldn't be a thing. And so I just have so much love and respect for that. But in an even bigger sense, the fact that we can have people that are in AA or in NA or not, and also come together in a respectful way, I think says a lot about who we are as human beings. Because that was kind of my fear. I was like, well, if I don't tell my story, are they going to just trust that I'm part of I'm one of you guys? Like, right? If I'm not ready to tell my story, like, are they going to, are people going to trust me with their stories because I'm hosting? And then also, like, who and what and how do you put this together? Do we focus really heavy on the recovery? For me, I had a really tough time with that because I didn't want to lose the music piece of it, right? And I also didn't want to segregate or eliminate people that were struggling with depression or PTSD. So I'm I can't even talk. Clinically diagnosed with PTSD.
Again.
Right. Exactly. Which is what they think happened. They think, like, my childhood was a little hasty, and you accompany that by the prescription that I was given. It wasn't going to be a success story, right? And so once I figured out that that was actually part of the root cause, then it gave me, now I can kind of deal with this and find, whether it's just deadheading my flowers, riding my horses, podcasting, whatever, I can figure out and start dealing with some of it. But I was really scared that I was going to limit who was going to be coming and looking for resources or hanging out, because all we were doing was talking about recovery. Not everybody wants to hear that all the time. And not only that, people in recovery don't even really want to hear that shit all the time.
Man, I tell you, I say that, and that's one of the first things I said in my first show. I don't have diplomas. I have no certificates.
Right.
But I go, I'm one of you. Same thing. I say, oh, I'm one of you. I'm not going to judge you. I have nothing except, I can relate. I'm not going to tell you what to do, but I'm going to share what happened to me. And we're going to go from there and let her rip.
Yeah.
And
what a beautiful thing.
That's the joy of what we do, man, because we're being ourselves. And that's what I try. That's like I told Tyler, he was asking about this. I go, don't worry about this, and this. Worry about this. Worry about this, and be real. And That's what we're doing. And that's why, one thing I love is when people come on and they'll say, man, I feel so safe, coming on your show because I can talk about whatever and not be judged. And I go, trust me, the shit you've done, I did 10 times worse, and I'm not going to look down on you. No one is. And, you're safe here, man. That stigma, fuck that stigma, man. I had a lady tell me, well, my son-in-law, I think I may have told you, I think I did, about the son-in-law and the daughter when I was drinking drugs, and we don't talk about it. And that it was on your show. And
I made a reel about it, man. Come on now.
Yes, by not talking about it, we'll talk about it at their funeral.
Yeah.
And the shit hit the fan. But
I buried a whole generation of people, and I was just talking about this with my family. I was like, man, how weird is that? Like the kids are graduating, but everyone from my generation from this one particular family is gone. Like
it's insane.
Completely gone, right? And I was just like, holy shit. Like the stigma has to go, because a lot of the reason why these, especially I can speak for like, my friend group or whatever, my peer group. It's like, if you don't want to ask for help, or if you end up asking for help and then they take your kids away because now you've asked for help, which happens all the time. I mean, it's happened to some of my admin actually. When they reach out for help, they tell the ministry that they're looking for support, and then they fail a piss test, which they said they would because they literally just said they needed help, and then they don't get their kids back for fucking 2, 3, 4, 5 years. Like the stigma surrounding it is so heinous that it keeps people sick, right? Like who wants to talk about their suicidal thoughts if people are going to judge you, or
exactly.
if and I even get a little bit weary about it with like the awareness part of it, because I'm like, the awareness piece is so important. Like we need to talk about it, we need to have these days allocated to it, but at the same time, like if I always add that to the post, then the people that actually need to use the post are probably not going to save it into their phone or share it to you know what I mean? So how do we kind of navigate the stigma while we're dealing with the stigma? Because it's like, it's wild, right? And so
it is.
Yeah, but I think the recovery community is doing an amazing job. I just want to quick, Amber, hi darling. Tiana, Tyler, I see you guys.
Oh
Tyler,
yeah.
I see you guys.
Oh
yes. Virgil,
we've been, OG goes through, she does like the calico thing, and answers after everyone, and and that's like with my fight or war. It's like, listen, I'm not going to paint myself into a corner. We are here for everyone who's an alcoholic, and that's it. No, we're here for everyone who's drug addict. That's it. No, man, it's everyone who's dealing with addiction, no matter what it is, mental health issues, no matter what it is, or it doesn't need a fucking diagnosis or a name to fuck up your day and ruin your life. You could just be having a bad day and you want to come here and talk and vent. Welcome to My Fight or War, man. You don't need to feel pressure. Well, I don't fit this category. Yeah, you do. You're human.
Yeah. That's the diagnosis.
The diagnosis is you're human, and we do care. We're one of you.
Yeah. I was chatting with my instructor today. I started psychology. I started psych today. Today was my first class. First class. I've been in school now for a couple of weeks, but today is my first psych class. I have a massive project on schizophrenia due in a few weeks, so I'm sure you guys will be seeing posts about me asking for help. But we were talking about going out into the community and handing out toothbrushes and deodorants and things like that, like little kits, right? And a couple of the other students were like, oh, can I donate clothes and this and that? And I was just kind of listening to them talk amongst each other, whatever. And then I'm like, hey, I hate to be that guy, right? But what's the vibe about like posting on social media about it? And immediately my instructor was just like, absolutely not. And I was like, oh, okay. And then she was like, you could kind of see her wheels turning. And she was like, wait, no, we should post about it. People should know. I don't think we should do it for recognition though. And I was like, no, I don't think that that's appropriate. And then she was like, wait, what are your intentions? And I was like, my intentions are trying to, I was like, I don't even want to take pictures of who we're giving it out to. I just said, like, as a team, like as a class, like, can we take a picture? And I said, I think it would be, encouraging to other people to go out and maybe hand out similar products or whatever. And I do that. I mean, I'm sure a ton of the people in the comment section too probably do it on their spare time. I know I've done it. I don't tend to take photos because a lot of it just kind of happens, right? But her immediate reaction to it, which was like,
What? Not us,
right.
And see, but the thing is, at
Because,
that point, just like I
yeah,
tell people, you know what? At this point, I am doing it because now I'm
yeah,
being part of the solution instead of
yeah.
part of the problem. Because for most of my life, I was part of the problem, and that shit ain't gonna fly. But
Yep.
The instructor
Exactly.
was probably thinking there might have been some
yeah,
legal implications.
I
the
don't,
whole
to be honest, she thought, like she said, she's so used to dealing. I mean, a lot of people in my class, well, not a lot. There's two actually that have lived experience. So I don't think it's unfamiliar territories for her to deal with people that are coming from the streets and into school. At least right now, because the demand for addictions counseling and community service specialists are like through the flipping roof, right? Like
oh god,
we need them like we need doctors, right? Um, but I think she's just so used to, like, when you scroll on TikTok and stuff, you see a lot of people who are obviously doing it for the wrong reasons, and if that's her only experience
Mhm.
with it, I can imagine why she would wanna be protective of
sure,
her program. I would want to be too. I just, like, at the
exactly.
same time, we started to see some, well, I see inspirational stuff all the time because I have an amazing community and family, and you guys all do amazing things. And so that's where my heart was at. But
Mhm.
again, like we're talking about, it's like the stigma with some of this stuff is just so massive. And like the ulterior motives to some of it are just so hectic. Like,
Oh,
it's really tough to kind of to navigate some of it. So it impresses me, like, especially with this family that you have, Manny, like the My Fight Our War team and all of its tentacles that have like come together in this beautiful way. Like it's an amazing project that you have going on here. And I think even just in its title says a lot about what it is, what to expect. Like, we've all been in those moments. And I know you explained it a lot, but I'm gonna take this opportunity because,
mhm.
in that basement, listening to those pipes, like that no one was there but me. That is very much my fight. And so, but as soon as I came up those stairs and figured out how I was going to get my life back, like it took a whole goddamn community. And it still does every
Yeah,
single day, right?
so
And
true.
so I appreciate what you're
Oh,
doing, and I think even just in your name says a lot. Like it's better than
well,
mine anyway.
oh, no, man. We are, and the best thing is all of our different names. We are just an extended family, and we're
Mhm.
all one. And from the first time I saw your platform and your show and you and Calico, the
Yeah.
first time, man, I knew it was something special. And like I said, I'm not the smartest guy, but I'm not the dumbest, man. So when I'm doing this stuff, I want to be part of something special and have people that like-minded, and that's you and Calico and all of your amazing people. And so you're stuck with us, man. You're stuck with us. But and we are going to be wrapping this up. But I
Mhm.
want just to do, just throwing this out there for you, because there's so much more
Yeah.
um, that we
Oh,
could go.
yes.
If you'd like to come on, man, and let's throw some, the different topics like we were talking before about for the men,
Yeah.
or the difference between the men and the women and different topics and the way they're characterized and treated, and how can we navigate that? If that's something you'd like to do, man, let's tackle that.
Yeah, we should do a show. We should call it like case in point or something, and we'll just throw up like a
Yeah,
like a case management file.
and
Read
then
it
let
and then yeah.
we got all of our amazing people right here.
Yeah.
They can nail you with all the really hard questions, and they can nail me with all the really fucked up shit.
Yeah.
But seriously, man, let's talk about that, because I mean that's something I think that could really do a lot of good.
I think so. I think so. Well,
Well,
we
I
know
tell
so.
you, Kalisha, I can't tell you how much I really appreciate that, and I'm sorry we had to go through all that other shit earlier, but it turned into this, which is,
Mm.
of course, you being amazing, and thank you for sharing. Some of the stuff that I know is uncomfortable. Just thank you for sharing, and for everything that you and Calico are doing. And I'm just honored to have you on here.
The pleasure is all mine, honestly. I like I said earlier, I had a very busy day. It's been a very busy week, and I look forward to this all day. And I was like, I thought I had a couple more hours, so sorry for showing up in my comfy set.
No, man. I tell you, anytime you want. I mean, you can call me anytime. And hey, listen, man, let's go live. There's something going on right now.
Yeah.
I'll do it. I'll do it.
Yeah.
And if there's anything else, please don't hesitate. But like I said, I love you, appreciate you, and let's keep moving this forward with some ideas and stuff. I want to jot stuff down. I know OG will, and if you can too. And case in point, let's make something happen.
I think it'd be a wonderful idea, and I think people need to hear that type of perspective. Like, obviously, we're men and women, we're black and we're white, right? We both have
Let's
different.
tackle it.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea. Yeah, absolutely. But in the meantime, before we get there, because we're going to need to pick a day and all that stuff. Oh my God. I'll talk to OG because I already know what you're like with the calendar. Same way.
Definitely.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, no worries. Which is actually kind of how I am with the calendar. So I'll send Calico over. Okay. She'll get us sorted out. But yeah, no, I think it's a great idea. I really, Manny, from the bottom of my heart, Lynn, honestly, the two of you, it has been such a pleasure from the last, I think it was like, I know it's been over a year now. I remember watching you guys kind of come onto the scene. I don't know how long you had been in this space for, but that's when I got to witness it. And right off the bat, I knew then that we would eventually work together. I'm really glad that we've taken our time to get there, because there's a lot of really cool things that have happened along the way. And it's allowed us to grow individually. But it has been an absolute honor to watch what you guys have been about from the very beginning. And I'm super, super proud of everything that you guys have accomplished. The way that you've put yourselves out there for people and gone and done these rallies. Stay blessed, my goodness, and just been answering the messages, the comments, this, that, I know how much sweat equity goes into that, and so from my heart and my community, our family, I just want you guys to know that I appreciate you and adore you both very, very much.
Wow.
So thank you.
Thank you.
You know, it's the same right back at you. And like I said, you ever need anything, man, phone's always open for you. And tell Calico and everyone we said hi, and we will be talking very soon about this next adventure.
Yeah, absolutely. For everybody that's hanging out in the comments, if you guys don't know, Calico's son, DJ Lion, is actually he's just massive. He's blowing up all over the scene. He's the youngest artist to ever play Ska Fest, and he's going to be at Pachina Bay July 19th, I believe the date is. If you guys go over and check out our content, we started making DJ Lion stuff so you guys can follow along with him. He's just super, super cool. He's got Dex, does the whole thing. He's got a professional setup. His mom obviously supports him in all the right ways. So yeah, please go and go like and follow his page. He's 11 years old. Like,
wow.
And of course, everyone knows Pine Case. And you guys. So please, if you're watching us, you're watching them. If you're watching them, you're watching us.
Yeah, so, absolutely.
All right. Hey, well, I love you, and tell everyone hi, and you take care of the next series of events that's coming your way.
Good luck in your classes.
Thank you.
You have a great night, hon. We'll talk to you guys soon.
Take care. Okay.
All right. Love you, man.
Love you too.
Bye-bye. Wow. I mean, wow.
She's got a lot on her plate.
I tell you. And, that's 2 hours almost right there. Woo! Thank you guys so much for hanging in there. She was definitely worth it. And her and Calico, their platform at Pine Case Podcast is absolutely insane.
And I thought Pine Case was like a park or something, with pine trees, not pineal gland versus the pine buck.
Well, when she started talking all the other stuff, I go, okay, OG's good now. I knew that you were like, oh yeah,
the amygdala and the dopamine
and you see OG going like this all of a sudden. Oh, I get it. At the exact same time, you'll see me going, what? Well, no, I really don't. And that's why I always say, look here, talk here. I got the easy job.
But who knew?
But really, man, I really do appreciate you guys and, everyone down the line. Like I said, OG is in charge of doing all that. Excuse me, while we're doing the show. And
well, they know. I've been talking to them and answering them. They know.
We never once ever ignore anybody. I was doing a lot of this on my own, when she wasn't able to help because of work and things. And it's just when I get going with a guest, and I
you're not
watch
able to
other
watch it.
hosts,
Yeah.
and they're back and forth, and they're stopping and talking, but that's just I can't. I don't.
Not your
That's
style.
no, because I want to give whoever's on this as a guest. It's their show. I'm
Mm-hmm.
the guest, or they're the star. I'm the host, man, and that's it. And then we'll go through. Unfortunately, there's times when she's not going to be here. When myself and Thomas are doing the shows,
I'm trying to take Mondays off,
but
though. Just so you
yeah,
know.
we'll see what we could do. But and Ty and all you guys, thank you so much, man.
And Kevin and Leroy was on. Leroy came on.
Leroy and all of the family. It was really, really appreciative. It's been a long day. We've been running shows since 4 o'clock, and it is now 9:30, and it's hot in here. So
Only
you
like
guys have a
94. What are you complaining about?
have a great night. Thanks for hanging in there with
Good
us.
night, guys.
And we'll be popping on live throughout the week, like I said, because right now it's Mondays with my brother's Keeper of Bikers podcast with, of course, my co-host Thomas Guffey Vestergaard. And then again, like the Mondays at 7 p.m., we will be doing My Fight Our War with whoever whoever our next family member is who pops on. So we do have some days in between. Nothing written in stone, and we're going to keep it that way because things happen in life. And but if there's something that you need to reach out, please reach out to
Message me.
Yeah, please reach out to OG Message and let her know, and we'll go from there. And we'll make happen whatever we can make happen. So again, Kalisha, Calico, please just the love and support that they have for everyone else, they deserve tenfold back. And you guys have a great night, and I am going to have a big carton of cake, ice cream, and maybe some French fries. So love you guys, and tell that man, keep fighting the good fight. Oh, see, I almost hit the wrong one.